Welcome back. We are diving into 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Let's talk about the victory gospel. You've seen it. It's the brand of Christianity that promises you'll always be the head and never the tail. Always healthy, always wealthy, and always looking like $1,000,000. The super apostles in Corinth lived for that. They loved to brag about their visions, their deep spiritual encounters, and how blessed they were. They looked at Paul, the guy who was constantly sick, constantly in trouble, and constantly weak, and they laughed. They said if he really had the juice, he wouldn't be struggling. But in chapter 12, Paul pulls a move they never saw coming. He says, "Fine, you want to talk about visions? I've been to the third heaven. I've seen things that would make your little encounters look like a nap. I have every reason to be the most arrogant man on earth." And then he stops the flex. He goes completely raw. He says, "But to keep me from getting an ego, to keep me from becoming the very super apostle I'm fighting, God gave me a thorn." Paul doesn't tell us what it was. Maybe it was an illness. Maybe it was a mental struggle. Maybe it was just a person who made his life a living hell. Whatever it was, it hurt. He begged God 3 separate times to just take it away. "God, I can't do this. I'd be so much more effective if I was fixed. I'd be so much more impressive if this pain was gone." And God looked at the most powerful apostle in history and said, "No!" He said, "My grace is enough for you. My power is made perfect in your weakness." This is where the whitewashed tomb lifestyle falls apart. In the house I grew up in, we were taught that thorns were embarrassing. If you were struggling, you hid it. If you were traumatized, you smiled through it. We were taught that God only uses the perfect ones, so we became experts at faking it. But Paul is telling us that the mask is the enemy of the power. If you are waiting to be fixed before you can be used, you're missing the entire point of the gospel. God doesn't use the people who are shining. He uses the people who are limping. He doesn't need your stars. He wants your scars. The super apostles want to sell you a breakthrough. Paul wants to give you a burden that forces you to lean on Jesus. So stop praying for the removal of the very thing that is keeping you close to God. Stop being ashamed of the fact that you're a wreck. Because the moment you admit you're weak is the exact moment you become dangerous to the enemy. When I am weak, then I am strong.